We are back with a recap of the Blue Jackets win in New York against the Rangers. 5-1 is the final score, and this was a nice change of pace for the Blue Jackets regardless of the result. There was no epic collapse in a period. There was no, giving up 5 straight goals. None of that. Just a good, solid hockey game from the Blue Jackets. And I want to talk about the goalie right out of the gate. Daniil Tarasov getting his first career win. It's not like it's not like he was playing bad before why he hasn't gotten a win. It's just that the Jackets usually played worse around him, but this time the stars aligned. Daniil Tarasov really solid. His only goal given up was a prime slot chance to Artemi Panarin all alone off of a deflected turnover on a 5-on-3. So I'm not exactly gonna blame the goalie on that one. It could have been a shutout if not for those series of unfortunate events, which is really the only bad thing that happened in the game. We'll get to that later. But as far as the rest of the game goes, this was tremendous for the Blue Jackets. Daniil Tarasov looks like he could be the backup goalie right now. He might even look like he could be the starter right now if Elvis Merzlikins continues his slow-ish start to the year. Daniil Tarasov is, viewed by the organization as a goalie of the future, and there's really no wrong answer to his development, I think, at this point. If Corby gets back and you want to send him to Cleveland to get a whole bunch of games in the AHL because you view this as like a growth year and you're fine with Elvis and Corby for one last hurrah, then that's fine. But I think if you do want to keep Daniil Tarasov up here, maybe assign Corby a rehab assignment in Cleveland and maybe just see if he sticks there, I think that might be fine as well. Again, with Korpisalo's injury status up in the air, he said he wants to be ready by the time the Finland games happen. That's still a little bit away. Daniil Tarasov is going to be the backup for at least a little bit longer now, and I think if it was clearly solely based on merit and how they've been playing this season alone, Daniil Tarasov might be the starter for this team. Kent Johnson now has 2 goals in 2 games. The one he scored might not have mattered in the grand scheme of things, putting the Jackets up 5-1, but it's nice to see. Jack Roslovic has been heavily improved since the beginning of the season. When he is on a roll, you can feel it. The Jackets play tremendously better when Jack Roslovic is better. He had a little bit of a rough start to start the season, but maybe Jack Roslovic just becomes a player that has a little bit of a slow start, but once he gets into the rhythm of things, into the groove, he can really become a huge difference maker on the ice, and we saw that in the last 2 games now with goals to Kent Johnson. Yegor Shinikov is another young player for the Blue Jackets. Continues his really good start, getting his first goal of the season. He's gotten a good number of assists, which isn't really his game, but sometimes those things kind of happen where Shinikov has definitely improved his ability to keep possession of the puck. He's not getting blown off of it by guys that are bigger and stronger than him that much anymore. Yegor Shinikov, it looks like he's built his body up a little bit more so he could be a little stronger, be able to keep that puck for longer, and you could definitely notice it in his game how he's able to keep pucks in the zone when maybe he wouldn't have been able to last year. And to see that finally result in his first goal, a classic snipe. No, it wasn't like a fluky, rebound goal or thing. He just beats Halak clean, and that's fine. Liam Foudy coming in for the injured Justin Danforth, and I believe he had 2 assists on the day. Nothing breathtaking from him. It's not like those passes where, there are some assists that are really the goals. Foudy didn't have any of those, but nice to see him get in the lineup and get a couple of points on the scoreboard. And the Blue Jackets in general just able to close this game out, whereas you've seen so far earlier around the season, and just yesterday, the day before, the Jackets not able to close out a game at all. So that's nice. As far as this back-to-back goes, splitting a back-to-back against 2 really good teams is something that you'll take every single time, especially if you're in the position where the Blue Jackets are, where you're still a building team. If you do make the playoffs, it's definitely going to be not the popular choice. It's definitely going to be an upset if the Blue Jackets end up making the playoffs. So to split a back-to-back against the Penguins and the Rangers in the Metro, I think that you'll take that every day of the week. And this is a chance now. On Tuesday, they play the openly tanking Arizona Coyotes. This is a chance to get to 500, and the season starts anew from there. Hopefully they can gain some ground in the Eastern Conference. Now let's start with some of the bad. Nick Blankenberg, he got injured in the first period with an arm injury. He returned in the first period, but after the second period, he did not show up on the ice. Another arm injury where Patrick Laine, his injury was also an arm injury. I believe it was his elbow. We'll see what happens with Blankenberg long term, but again, not good when you see a guy get injured. He tries to play a little bit, but decides in the first intermission not gonna work, and he's out for the rest of the game. Justin Danforth, his status is up in the air after he got injured yesterday against Pittsburgh. He did not play today. That's why Liam Foudy stepped in. Who knows about his status of right now? It seems kind of a little up in the air as well. So Blankenberg and Danforth, two guys who have really been really good heart and soul hustle guys who have produced points as well. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting both grit and results from those guys, and to have those, if those guys are going to be injured for any significant length of time, that's going to be an issue. Somebody's going to have to step up. But again, this is what the proposed organizational depth is for, and so I think this will be a nice test for the Blue Jackets and their organizational depth pretty early in the season. And now we're going to get to the one bad thing that actually happened on the ice was that 5-on-3 sequence. Andrew Peak and Gavrikov both committing penalties, so there's two of your penalty-killing defensemen down on that right there. The 5-on-3 kill was actually going pretty darn well until the final second, where Gus Nyquist trying to, just kind of clear a puck along the boards. It kind of hits a stick, and it's not the best. It looks like Gus Nyquist just straight up passes it to Artemi Panarin. That's not exactly what happens. It does go off of a stick, but it does look really bad when you first watch it on film. But Artemi Panarin is all alone in the slot. High danger chance for him. He doesn't miss. And even in a blowout victory against the Rangers, Artemi Panarin just has to score, doesn't he? He just has to run the Blue Jackets of him not being on the roster anymore. But again, that goal came as a meaningless goal. It didn't do anything. The Jackets won 5-1 in a pretty blowout fashion. It was nice to watch and nice to see the Jackets get some momentum against a truly competitive team. Their last two wins were against the flailing Canucks and the flailing Preds. So hopefully this bolsters them to more confidence later on. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe. If you liked the video and you'd like to see more like it, let me know what you thought about this Blue Jackets game down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you at the next one.